Like I'm able to talk about this topic because I have a father. Let's start there. Feels great to be able to actually be able to speak on this topic because I definitely have a dad. Pops has been here the entirety of my life. So I've never had to worry about things like, wondering who or where Pops is and things like that. So this is my topic. I can talk about this like a motherfucker. So I got a dad. And we done had a mixed relationship. You see what I'm saying? It's great now. It's my nigga now. There was a point there for a while that was not my nigga. Let's just put it that way. That was not my nigga. Good morning, everybody. We are back outside on Pimp Talk. Thank God. I missed going into my backyard with my garden. It's time to talk about fathers. And for those who actually don't have one, this is going to be a difficult topic for you guys to understand, especially the men. I'm going to start off by saying, I appreciate Kirk Franklin apologizing. No, he only apologized because he's a man of God. He didn't apologize because he felt like he was actually wrong for what he said to his son. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. He apologized for y'all. He didn't apologize for his son. He didn't give a fuck about that. Because I can tell you right now, Kirk Franklin don't think that nigga is his son no more. I can tell you that right now. Me and my pops done got into it. So hearing over the phone that your dad gonna put foot in your ass, and then it actually happening in real life, in person, in front of people, in front of schools and shit, is two completely different things. Have you niggas ever actually had a foot put in your ass by a grown man as a teenager? He 33. A nigga saying he gonna put his foot in your ass, you just soften the bitch if you just gonna record it. Nigga, you better swing something. But we're not going to sit here and talk like there isn't abuse. There isn't, you know what I mean? There's fathers that are abusive and things like that. There's fathers that are extremely wrong and mean. So we don't know the full dynamic. But I'm pretty sure it would have came out a lot earlier if Kirk Franklin was an abusive father. That's all I'm going to say. My dad has always been in the picture, but he was verbally abusive, shows tough love, and he's a hard ass. He'll never apologize. My dad said he was sorry for some of the shit. Okay, I ain't gonna even cap. Because again, we grew up in an era of the 90s and the, early 2000s. That was the attitude era. So of course, some of that shit was a little excessive, but at the same time, nigga, I ain't soft. And I'm a boy. So I felt like, if for y'all that was watching, and for anybody that's listened to the recording, it sounded like Kirk Franklin ain't cursed in a long time. Because he ain't even used the curse words right. He was trying to find the right place to put the curse words. When was the last time you used the curse word as the inflection? You see what I'm saying? My dad is 46. He just turned 46 March 3rd. Say happy birthday to my father. But, he ain't even know really how to use the curse words. So, like, I could tell this ain't just something that Kirk Franklin just do. Like, he don't just be cursing motherfuckers out. This is just my personal opinion, okay? This isn't facts. I don't have, I don't have no backstory on that. But listening to Kirk Franklin curse and then listening to a black father curse, even a Christian black father, it ain't the same. Right, shout out to Mr. Martin. Yeah, shout out to Pops. Still an OG, you see what I'm saying? He's still rocking it, making them racks. But if my pops would have listened to that Kirk Franklin thing, he'd have been like, "Oh yeah, that sound like that time when you skipped school and didn't want to answer the phone. That's how my voicemails used to sound. What you mean? What do you mean?" Again, we're not gonna talk as if abuse is okay in motherfucking parenting. Okay, verbally or physically abusing your child in parenting is two different things. Then tough love and cursing is they hear curse words at school. Okay, so hearing curse words ain't gonna be a problem. Okay, Timmy from down the street done called your son a bitch ass nigga 4 times and he laughed because that's his partner. So don't even act like hearing bitch ass just is the most. Y'all made me think that the recording was him calling him a bitch ass nigga, you hoe ass, weak ass, this and that, I beat you to this. He said, I will put my foot. What father that's black has not told their son he was gonna put his foot in their ass? That's a thing that black people say. So Kirk Franklin not black because he Christian? Come on now. What parent has not said that? Y'all niggas mamas said that shit. I know niggas mamas that be like, I'm putting foots. You see what I'm like? Come on now. Come and talk to me. So we not gonna sit here and act as if this shit was just the big, oh my God. Y'all had me thinking that Kirk Franklin went off the handle. The break your neck part was wild. I ain't gonna lie. But he said for disrespecting me, what happened before? It seems like the conversation got riled up and then he started recording. He riled Kirk Franklin up, waited till Kirk Franklin was riled up, then started recording. Kirk Franklin not from a hood because he a preacher? Come on now. It's not like this is something that Kirk Franklin does. This is something we found out very late. And this, of course, is going to be more emotion involved when it's a son that's supposed to be your son, but it's estranged. It's a lot of people that's a man of God that make mistakes. We ain't going to sit here and act like, we're not going to act like that it was a positive thing. We're not going to act like it was, we're not going to just sit here and say that he did the right thing. Okay. But the man, he can make a mistake now. And especially if you feel disrespected by your son. Was it a lapse in judgment? Was it a bad parenting moment? Yes. Shout out NASA Culture for that statement. We had a big argument on a Facebook post about this particular topic. And one thing we did agree on, it was a bad parenting moment. Kirk Franklin ain't no preacher. That nigga a musician. He make ratchet gospel music. Okay, we ain't gonna forget the fact that Kirk Franklin got caught with the porn addiction thing, right? Like that was a whole thing. For a while, people was like upset. Like, oh my God, Kirk Franklin watches pornography. He's a man of God. And then a bunch of men of God started looking left and looking right like, wait, we not supposed to do this? We can't watch? So it was a lot of men of God that was confused because now they internet browsers is a sin. So the motherfuckers immediately started to get on Kirk Franklin's side because then that means that them as men of God couldn't do the same shit. It's fucked up, ain't it? It's fucked up. We don't want that thought process. We don't want that thought process. Let's be real now. We don't want that thought process. Okay? So we not gonna act like Kirk Franklin isn't a human being. This nigga ain't ever say he was above nobody else. He always apologized and owned up to everything that he was doing. Let's not sit here and cap. He is a black man in America, and that still comes with problems no matter how much Jesus you put in your life. Nigga, white people put the Jesus there. And the bets are, okay, and that whole father and son relationship bullshit, the bets are off after 18. Don't fucking play with me. Like, my dad would beat the fuck out of me if I did some stupid shit. Like, if I disrespected this man, at this point, we're two grown-ass men. Like, I'm a grown man. Like, don't play with me, okay? Like, the way that my dad talked to me when I was younger and the way that he talks to me now is two completely different things. And the way that I used to talk to him and the way that I talk to him now is two completely different things. But there's still a respect level as a man now. It's more of, it went more from, oh, fear, my dad, he's this big thing that I'm looking up to. Now it's just, he's a man, I'm a man, and he's an OG. You see what I'm saying? Because he's fucking 46. So you can't beat that, okay? You cannot beat that. So he a OG. So it's a respect level. And if Kirk Franklin's son went past that respect level as a man, you out of there. You're done. You disrespect me as a man, that father-son thing don't mean nothing no more. You're a man, I'm a man, don't fucking play with me. Imagine. And I cannot be mad at him for that. How the fuck I'm supposed to trip on him for that? You see what I'm saying? You literally cannot. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, I gotta add somebody real quick. Somebody was calling me. I gotta invite him to let him know that I'm actually on Facebook Live right now. But it's two-pronged because there are fathers that are abusive. Okay, there are fathers that are verbally, physically, emotionally abusive. But then there's some that's just like they're being human while also being a dad. You know? When Buds Clark, when Kirk Franklin started crip walking in the gospel videos, I knew he was a savage. Wow. I didn't know that was a thing. I ain't never seen him preach gospel ever. I've never actually seen him sing either. So, is he a gospel singer also? He's just a gospel choir director. Like, he's never actually sang a song. Ever. I've never heard him sing a note in my life. If Kirk Franklin got bars or he got notes, y'all need to let me know something. But I didn't know. I thought he was just like the Flavor Flav of gospel. Like, that's what I figured. He just kind of, yeah, boy. And then, like, you know. Remember when Boosie talked bad to his daughter, y'all was mad. Wow. He's Able is his best song. Okay, yeah, I'm about to say, I'm not big into gospel music. I used to be, but I'm out of touch. It's been years. I done smoked a lot of weed. I done forgot all of my gospel songs. I know a couple Mary Mary songs. I'm not going to sit here and cap. Gospel music slaps. Especially when you catch it in the right upbeat mood and you need it, or you're down and you need something to uplift you. Gospel music slaps. Honestly, the way a man talk to his kids, shit, is nobody's business. We don't know their relationship. Honestly, he's 33. So he's not talking to a kid no more. We can't keep doing that. Okay, that's his son. No, he's still talking to a grown ass whole man that has been a grown man for over 10 years. So let's keep that in mind, okay? He's talking to a grown ass man that has been a grown man for over 10 years. This is different than if he was talking to a 18-year-old Kirk Franklin's son or a 16-year-old Kirk Franklin's son. You see what I'm saying? This is a grown-ass man. I understand Christians being up in arms. Oh, Kirk Franklin, curse words. And so y'all don't curse at y'all house, goddammit. Y'all think y'all pastor at y'all church while he's counting y'all motherfucking offering money isn't cursing like, goddamn, these motherfuckers keep spending and I'ma keep spending they money. You don't think they cursing at home while they spending y'all fucking money? And y'all sitting here up in arms at Kirk Franklin like y'all ain't going broke, and y'all pastor saying goddamn every time somebody do another $200 offering at church. Still a person. Still a person. He's not above you just because he can interpret a Bible in a way that you like. He's not a better person than you. How would it be if the roles were flipped, though? Oh, you should always respect your parents. Shit, we understand. Some of us understand what a bad parent is. Okay, so we understand, especially in this generation, we understand what a bad parent is. So if Kirk Franklin was a bad dad, what I call my dad bitches and hoes. Well, my dad ain't no bitch ass nigga ever, and he's never been one. So of course not. I could never even fathom those thoughts because my dad has never even, you know what I mean? I couldn't even think of bitch ass in my, would I curse? Maybe. We've never argued like that because we grown, so we have boundaries. You see what I'm saying? We'll never get to that level where I gotta curse at my dad because what the fuck, we grown. If anything, if I had to curse at him, then it means he's done something and he's never done me nothing like that, and I've never done him nothing like that, especially as adults. Of course, my pops done cursed me clean the fuck out as a child. He done kicked me out as a child. Physically. Y'all done seen the movie? I mean, y'all done seen Fresh Prince and Bel-Air? I was Jazz at 17. Grabbed me by my shit and, yeah, out the fucking house. So a curse word don't bother me, okay? I know what it means. You see what I'm saying? I know the difference. And even in that moment, I couldn't even fathom calling him that because there was something that happened where he felt as though it was me. So shit, what the fuck I'm supposed to do? As an adult, I understand because whenever I tell y'all the situation, y'all will get it. Okay? You gotta go off the handle when you think about something. He's a human being. And it's not like he does it all the time. It's not like it's not like he was like that every day. I have cussed my daddy out though. But I don't recommend talking shit to parents. But sometimes we got caught in the moment. Bald head ass nigga. Oh, that's funny. Well, see, with women it's different. Your daddy will let you get away with a little bit more as a little girl. If you started talking that shit to like your mama like that, she probably want to fight you. Fuck a curse word. She'd be ready to punch you in your shit. Okay, that's something that we need to also speak on now that we're here. Why is it okay for women to be abusive parents and not men? Is it because they hit harder? Because I know a lot of women who literally have had to fist fight their moms throughout life and nobody cares. Like physical abuse daily. So, like, I don't understand why that isn't spoken on more. Because there's a lot of women who are extremely abusive parents. And I'm not talking just discipline. I'm talking abusive as parents. And why is that a thing? Why is that not spoken on? I've seen moms come and punch on their sons. Punch on their daughters. Smack their daughters in public. And this is especially in the black community. Before she passed, my mama was fucking violent. Like, do you think you was getting whipped with an extension cord after a shower? A man's not thinking of that shit, okay? A man's not thinking of that. Women think of that. Women think of, okay, I need this to hurt the worst it possible. My dad would never go find a switch from outside. What the fuck? My pops had to hit me 2 times. Okay, I know. Stop. I'm sorry. Mama gotta beat you half to death. Take you to the hospital and then get you ice cream afterwards. For you to do. Well, she got me the ice cream. No, your mama was fucking abusive as fuck. Motherfucking mama's beating and stomping on you, and then you get some money and the first thing you do is spend it on her like she did something positive. Women don't be doing that shit. Did you notice that during motherfucking award ceremonies, women don't be up there, oh, I just want to thank my mama, I'm finna go bring my mama this. No, the fuck they not. They be lucky if they mama got their phone number. While we over here talking about Kirk Franklin using words, this bitch is out here clotheslining their kids and shit. I can literally count on my hands and toes the amount of times my dad actually had to physically harm me. But when he did, he's just a big nigga, so it was a big moment. But come on now, like that? Like that? Your dad scream at y'all too loud. Y'all ready to call motherfucking CPS on him. Mama motherfucking Spartan kick you down some stairs. And you like, I'm sorry. Next time I won't be out too late. Nigga, my pops just had to low-key look at us for too long. I used to get tapped in the chest once and be ready to cry and not won't do it no more. Mama doing wrestling moves, elbow drops and shit when I come in the house, when I get a C and shit. Y'all talking about, come on now, can we be real? Can we be real for a little bit? Can we be real for a little bit? We need to stop with the stigma that it's okay for mothers to be abusive in relation. Low key, it's okay for mothers to be bad parents, like in general. If a mother fails as a parent, low key, as long as she tried, we're good. Pops gotta succeed. And I'm not saying it's easier to be a dad than it is to be a mom, because it takes a whole lot to be both. It's different. It's neither one of them is harder or easier. It's both just different problems. You see what I'm saying? Because I know single mothers, and I was raised by a single father, so I know both sides. Okay, I done dated a lot of single mothers. I know how hard it is. You see what I'm saying? And I done also watched my dad grow up with the both of us, me and my little brother, and he had to do it by himself. So I completely understand. You see what I'm saying? Both sides. But I can tell you that right now, a mother can fail and try. What I mean by that is, how many rappers have we heard talk about they love their mama and their mama was just the best ever, but yet they, in the next bar, they was rapping about how they had to pay all the bills in their house because their mama couldn't do it. Have you ever heard a rapper talk about, my dad didn't have the money to pay the bills, so I gave him half the rent? I wish the fuck, I don't even think my dad would take the money. I don't care how broke we was. If I started selling drugs, do you think my pops would take the money if we was hurting? Mama taking 13-year-old crack money and everything's okay? You can fail as a parent, as a mother, and it's fine. You tried. There's countless mothers that are trying and succeeding, so that's not even who I'm talking about. But you can definitely just fail as a mama. You can just be a horrible mother. And as long as you tried, and if your son comes out okay, or your daughter comes out okay, then you succeeded. No, the fuck you didn't. Your daughters aren't gonna let you off the hook like that. Your sons will. Your daughters aren't gonna let you off the hook like that. I think a lot of women have kids because they don't feel loved, so they think the child will fill the void. I feel that. But I'm just saying, okay, did you notice that, like I said, if you want to see how good, especially if they have multiple kids, if you want to see how good of a parent she was, ask the daughter. Ask the daughter. Because she's going to put you on game immediately. Like, yeah, she was emotionally distant. She didn't really have it. She didn't do... A son to a mother, as long as the nigga lived, goddammit, a son's going to say that his mother did the best. Nigga could have been paying bills since he was 13. Yet the mama was a good mother. No, she wasn't, big dog. Why you paying the bills at 13? Why you gotta sell crack? You got to? Niggas talking about mama was always there, but yet you wouldn't eat if you wasn't selling drugs? Are you sure she was there? What was she doing? Well, she was working 2 jobs. What was she making? $1.50 an hour? You niggas wasn't eating. She wasn't doing enough. And we was poor. We was so poor, Pops had to pivot his life to make sure that we weren't poor anymore. You see what I'm saying? Spent years in Houston after Hurricane Katrina, poor, deprived. So I understand. Yeah, you already know. Kirk's son has had money his whole life. So he doesn't understand none of that. That's why he's recording his dad. Come on now. Like, you come on now. He don't understand struggling. I bet you Kirk understands struggling. I bet you Kirk Franklin understands starving. Respect. So it's like, for me, like, we gotta, that might be a different live, and I'm glad that I touched on it on this episode. Because niggas always talk about dads not being there. Okay, some of the stories that y'all told me about y'all mamas, nigga, y'all mamas would have been better off not being there. Like, y'all did it by yourself. Some of y'all stories, especially like these rappers, some of these actors and shit like that, y'all be telling me these stories. It might have been better if y'all mama wasn't there. Some of y'all. Pop's leaving was low-key like, okay, that sucks, but at least it couldn't be worse than not being there. Like, for real. Maybe I'm tripping. But like, if I had to pay rent at 13 while a grown person was being an alcoholic or being on drugs in the house next to me, nigga, you can leave. I would rather you not be there. But that's neither here nor there. Kirk Franklin was right to apologize because he has a fan base and a following to apologize to. He wasn't apologizing to his son. You could hear it in his voice. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck about his son, the grown-ass man, getting cursed out. Hey, don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about what's happening behind me, man. God damn it. You don't worry about the background. See, this is what happened when niggas don't listen in church. You see, LaTravis, Davis, this is what happens when you don't listen in church. You looking in the background and shit, you seeing shit you ain't supposed to see. That's what happened. Now your mind is blown. Don't worry about what's in the background. Just pretend it's a green screen and all of it's fake. Because if it's real, then this is a life that motherfuckers need to live that they ain't living. But don't worry about what's happening back here. You need to worry about what's happening right here. Why you back here? You need to... Where church at? Church ain't back there. Is church back to anybody else? Can somebody in the congregation please tell me what church at? Because it sounds like church back there, apparently. And they don't come in and out, they just come in. Did you notice? See, you wasn't paying attention, goddammit. What you mean out? What do you mean out? They come in. And shit like that, as a pastor, I understand sometimes you gotta curse motherfucker out, okay? I understand, okay? So moments like this, LaTravis Davis, okay, you Kirk Franklin's son right now, and I'm sorry for now I gotta apologize to my congregation for cursing you out, just like Kirk Franklin had to apologize for cursing out his son. I'm sorry, Pimp Talk the podcast, for cursing out LaTravis Davis about looking in the background and not paying attention in church and disrespecting the entire congregation. I apologize for that. We still love LaTravis Davis. He still can be on every episode of the podcast. That's still my nigga. But I gotta apologize to the congregation because I'm cursing one person out. See, my point is made. I didn't even have to make my point. Thank you, LaTravis, for helping me make my Kirk Franklin point. Sometimes you gotta curse a motherfucker out. Sometimes. That's a grown-ass man. Ain't nothing come out of Kirk Franklin cursing his kids out. Y'all heard something about that? Did that story come out? Are you held to a higher standard you ain't supposed to be speaking in that bad? Facts, right, my bad. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm apparently I'm a better human being than everybody else because I preach about a book. Okay? Because I preach about a book, I'm better than everybody else. So I'm held to a complete higher standard than everybody else. Nigga ain't a politician, goddammit. He's a gospel celebrity. And his son is a grown soft nigga. Because I wish the fuck I would record a conversation when my dad going off on me. Sometimes my dad calls me and goes off. Let me look at my fucking phone. When was the last time my dad called me and went off was probably about, I'd say 3 weeks ago. I think I posted something and my grandmother didn't like it. So what did he do? He called me and been like, hey, nigga, stop doing this, and this. Your grandmother, and she doesn't like it. I know you're probably just talking just to talk. I understand, but your grandmother didn't fucking like it, nigga, and you know your grandmother didn't like it, so next time, what are you gonna do? All right, Dad, I'm sorry. Quit fucking playing. Do better. Learn. I love you. I'll call you later. Now, if I start to talking shit to him about him lecturing and just letting me know that something's happening in life, then I'm stupid. Okay? And then that's disrespecting him as my father. So yes, if he starts to go and clean the fuck off on me for not just listening to what he got to say, then I understand. He probably really disrespected Kirk Franklin. And you cannot disrespect a grown man, period. You don't do it. If you disrespect a grown man that's not disrespecting you, you will get disrespect back, period. That is the end of the conversation. It doesn't matter father, son, brother, fucking whatever it is, friend to friend, boss to employee to boss, it does not matter. Man to man is the first thing before anything else in this world. Okay, anybody that has a word in this world understands that man to man comes before any other labels. Man to man. And if you disrespect the man, then he can disrespect the man. If you come at a man wrong, then you have to deal with a man. Parents must also learn to respect their grown kids. Well, yeah, that's just a problem in the black community, period. Your black parents don't want their kids to grow up. Thank God, my dad was the opposite. He was like, nigga, hurry up and stop being a child so we can be friends and shit. And the funniest thing, that's exactly what happened. The moment that I got my shit together and became an adult, he was ready for me to be an adult. And I could pull up and go have drinks and watch sports and talk about life and shit and learn and all that cool shit. Because he was ready for me to grow up and be an adult. A lot of y'all parents want y'all to be kids forever so that way that they can keep running y'all lives. That's all it is. They just want to have that control over y'all that they didn't have before. Thank God my pops didn't do me that as an adult. Thank God. And I can see it so easily because I'm not blinded by the fact that it's happening to me. Because it's not happening to me. My dad don't tell me nothing, pretty much, as an adult. He used to go off on me all day, night, every day. I'm getting lectures and yells and shit as a younger dude. Now that I'm grown, he like, hey, I done taught you now. You out my house. That's a fact. My dad wasn't like that. My dad was okay with like, hey, I fucked up. You see what I'm saying? Thankfully, he didn't really fuck up often. And the cool part is when he did actually go too far, even if it took a while, he understood. So I was actually able, like I said, and I'm not going to sit here and act like Pops was perfect, the most amazing dad ever. Fuck no. Absolutely fucking not. Would I trade him for anybody else? No. Because I wouldn't be me if I didn't deal with because he was growing as a person as he was raising kids. So the man that is 46 now that I look up to, that I aspire to be like and be better than, that's not the nigga 10 years ago. You see what I'm saying? When I was 16 and he was 36. You see what I'm saying? That's not the same nigga when he was 32, 35, 31. You see what I'm saying? It's not the same nigga. So, he is. My dad is everything a black father should want to be like. What I mean by that is, he wasn't perfect, but he constantly learned from his mistakes. And he was extremely strict, but he let us be ourselves. He never forced us into certain things. He wanted me to play sports, but when he realized that I wasn't the best at football and it was more of a track thing and a basketball thing for me, then he let me do that. When he realized I was in choir, he was okay with that. When he didn't really love it. You see what I'm saying? But he was okay with it. It's not like he told me no. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, he's ex-military. Yeah. Was it your choice to go to the military? That's a good question, and I'm glad that somebody asked me that. When I got kicked out the house, I had already had thoughts of going to the military after college just to get the experience, but that situation got expedited because I got kicked out the house, and the living situation I was in was not indicative of me being able to sustain that. So I was like, okay, let me go get my shit together, and that made me go join the military. Funniest thing, after I came back from the military, that's when me and my father's relationship started to come back together. It took a while, it took some years, but it also took me understanding the part that I played in the mistakes that were made and not just looking at what he did, because it took for a long time. I'm like, okay, my pops kicked me out, he wrong for that, I can't believe he did me this, and I can't believe that he would do and say, and I'm right now what Kirk Franklin's son is doing. I was that nigga, but I was 17. I wasn't 33. You see what I'm saying? So I completely understand the thought process he's in, but I can't understand that thought process as a grown man, because I wasn't one when I had that thought process. When I was thinking like my dad just hates me and this and that, I'm a kid. I go to the military, come back, I'm a grown-ass man now. I'm a different dude. 2 years, deployment, wasn't no games, okay? So I learned things. I met other men and realized what it looks like when you disrespect a man. What it looks like when a nigga feels played. What it looks like. You see what I'm saying? So then when I came back to my father as a different person and we sat down and we talked about the situation, yeah, he said he was sorry about certain things. You know who else did? Me. Because I was sorry about certain things. I was wrong about certain things. You know? And I didn't give my fucking father the benefit of the doubt that he was a single dad by himself, not knowing what the fuck to do with kids, and he young and we young as fuck, and it's to us. Let's be it. Nick Savage. Because this is a longer one. Yeah, fam, wild for posting it. I never had my dad, but I'll never blast him on any app because I know what he struggled with in real life. It's life. And he's like, we're black. Like, can we state that? We're black in a country that's not ours. We are visitors in this country. Okay? We're black. So it's difficult. Okay? Not saying that he didn't have a chance to be there, not saying that he's a good dad in disguise. You know what I mean? Because there's terrible dads out here that are purposely terrible, and we all know terrible niggas out here that could have been better dads. We're not finna just sit here, and I'm not out here caping for defending niggas forever. No, that's not what we do on Pimp Talk. We be honest. But at the same time, there's nuance to a lot of different situations. And me having my father in my life lets me know that Kirk Franklin's son, not saying that he didn't have points, but if he did, I could tell you right now, they would have came out earlier. I don't know what he's doing this for. I don't know why this is coming out now as a 33-year-old man, but nobody knows how the conversation started because he didn't record it all. Why didn't he record it from when he answered the phone to the beginning? Because if he seemed as though he knew he was getting Kirk Franklin to a point where he was getting antagonized, then started recording. My pops and my moms got divorced when we was young. Like real young. Made it to where my dad was a weekend dad for a little while. You know why nobody talks about it? Jay Cook, and I'm not going to sit here and cap, and I can finally say this as a man that's an adult that has studied this and studied people. Do you know why we don't talk about the women? Because it's more niggas fucking up. I can tell you why it's more like absentee deadbeat dads, especially in the generation that we grew up in. Lesser now. You know, I mean, there's more fathers now than there was 10, 20, 30 years ago. But it's just more niggas that have, like, been absentee, left, or... You see what I'm saying? So, like, a mother being a bad mother with a father not being there, at least she was there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, his son is definitely whack. His son whack as hell for that. So, it's more. Because there's more absentee fathers, we have to work on that first. Then we can get to the second problem. That's the issue. We can't try to fight all of the problems at once. We have to try to tackle what we can and then go from there. And that's why it seems as though women get more of a pass. Because, well, there's less of them. And not just less of them in the world. There's less of them that are fucking up in comparison, because of what has been put in place, especially for Black America. Things like the Vietnam War, then the crack epidemic, then all of the laws, then the whole super criminal thing with Bill Clinton in 2000 that the president that we have now signed. So things like that, you know, all of those things helped bring the number up of absentee fathers. But that's why we talk about that more than we talk about the mothers. Because the mothers is a thing, it's just there's more fathers. So we'll get to that. We get to that on Pimp Talk. We talk about it. Because, like I said earlier, it's a lot of moms that just because they existed in the parent's life, they got away with not being a good parent. No mother should ever have to take money from their child to pay bills. That means you're not succeeding as a mother. You're failing. Sometimes it's not your fault that you failed. We're not saying that it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's not your fault that you failed, but it should be noted that, hey, you could have done better, a lot better. I'm on baby mama number 3. I can only blame myself at this point. Yeah, you're on number 3, you gotta blame yourself. The first one, fool me once, shame on me. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I'm doing it on purpose. You didn't fool me a 3rd time. That's something that nobody ever learned. And this is my only, nobody ever believes this, but I believe this, and this is my personal opinion. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I did it on purpose. I'm not being fooled, I like it. That's what it is. I can't get fooled 3 times. I'm an adult. I'm smart. A kid can get fooled 3 straight times. A grown adult is getting fooled 3 straight times. After that 2nd time, that 3rd time, you are doing it on purpose. Even if you don't think you're doing it on purpose, you're subconsciously doing it on purpose. You do not get fooled 3 times. So, that is one big debate. You know, it's like, okay, well, who's worse? The fathers or the mothers, or where the mothers do this, or where the fathers do this? And nah. Sometimes it's bad mothers. Sometimes it's bad fathers. It's a case-by-case thing. I don't think one is worse than the other, but I do think that there's more fathers than there's mothers, and I can prove it with fucking history. And if y'all want me to break it down, I don't know how much time I've been on live, but I can break it down really fast. 43 minutes. Okay, I'm making good time. So let's break it down why there's more absentee fathers than there is mothers. Y'all ready? Let's start from the last really, really major war that we had, I believe, and if I fuck this up, somebody just correct me in the comments, I believe it was the Vietnam War. A whole lot of men got drafted to go to a war that we lost. The Vietnamese was beating our ass. Bad. And with that, we lost a lot of people. Not only that, They was letting them motherfuckers do all types of drugs while they was out there. Motherfucking all of the cocaine and the heroin that they wanted, the weed that they wanted, while also watching people get murdered. They friends. They platoon mates. You see what I'm saying? In gruesome, crazy ways, getting captured, tortured. The Vietnam War was bad because we lost. We did not win that one. We come back. Right as motherfuckers trying to get back in their homes, they can't really find jobs because all they ever did was infantry, and infantry don't really pertain to no actual jobs when you come back to America. So they already not making the money that they supposed to make. They don't really take care of certain types of veterans. They do take care of some, but they don't take care of certain types of veterans after the military. So that leaves a lot of single mothers. Ones that lost their husbands, ones that to the war, ones that lost them to craziness. You see what I'm saying? PTSD and shit. Ones that lost them to drugs. Ones that lost them financially. You come back, especially if you black, and a couple years later, bam, crack epidemic. Smack dab in it. So now you're either broke and doing drugs because you're upset, or you're broke and selling drugs because you're upset. Both of which is keeping you away from your family. Especially if you get caught with crack and cocaine and things like that, and they lock your ass up for 10, 15 years. So now it's a lot of motherfuckers either dying from overdoses, becoming homeless from overdoses, not being there with their families, or going to jail for years on end, or getting shot. Leaving a lot of single mothers. Even more. Then you get to the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, and the Clintons decide that motherfuckers that sell drugs are the worst kind of people. You know who sold most of the drugs? The minorities. So with that, the Clintons were saying at the time that the minorities were the worst kind of people. They shouldn't be able to get out of jail. So that changed how long you sat in prison for drug crimes. Taking fathers off the street every day. So it's a lot of absentee. Wasn't there, wasn't around. How many times you done dated a girl, her daddy in jail, her daddy passed away, her daddy was a thug, this and that, was raised by their mama, and they hate their mama. As a guy, how many women have you dated where the story was they daddy is either passed away or in jail, and all they got is their mama, and they hate their mama? If I had a nickel, I wouldn't have to do Pimp Talk the podcast because I could just live off that. 3 strikes. And they locking you up, no parole. Taking fathers off the street. And there are some deadbeats that are just regular deadbeats. We're not talking about them. But you could add them on, plus the regular deadbeats that are just actually deadbeats. That's a lot. It's a lot more. Because if you put the regular deadbeats next to the regular deadbeat moms, it might be a lot closer. But then you got to add those other factors on for men, and it makes it a laundry list almost of reasons why, especially in the black community. And it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's what happened. It's history. That's the worst part. It's not an excuse. It's literal history. And we can blame the government. We can blame what they did, but we also have to blame ourselves as fathers and as men. And not us, because we were raised by these motherfuckers. So we just can't learn from them. I can learn from my dad, thank God. My dad was a great dad. Thank God. Who knows what I would have turned out like had I been raised by my mother by herself. Who knows what I have turned out like if they had stayed together and I would have been raised by both of them. Who knows? I can tell you right now, if my mother wasn't the woman that she was, there would not be no pimp talk. I can tell you right now. It just is what it is. And I love her. But if she wasn't the woman that she was that led me to being raised by my dad, there would not be no pimp talk. I had to learn from that. I had to deal with that hurt for years. Still dealing with it. Because that should have been done differently, but I was not at a point where I can't gauge how I was raised. But all I want to say is my dad is amazing. My mom tried. So it is what it is. And it's weird because it's easy when you say something negative about a person's dad. They'll usually be quick to agree, no matter how good or how bad or how nuanced it was. You mention anything about a mother. Well, hold on. I mean, did she try? I mean, it was probably hard on her. I mean, she probably did all that she could. I wonder how many fathers did all they could and never got the credit for it. Never got the deference for trying. And it just wasn't enough. You know? How many dads is getting told right now that they shouldn't talk? They shouldn't get to talk to their kids because they aren't doing enough. You know when a mother isn't doing enough, she's trying. It's crazy because this is a thing for men. Women don't play that shit. Women will straight up tell you about how their mother was. You know? A dude will tell you whether his dad or his mom wasn't great, you know? If his mom wasn't great, he'll say it. He'll still maybe appreciate her and love it. He'll say it. You know? Mom gonna let you, you know what I mean? A woman gonna let you know because I have been trying to pinpoint and study why it's like that, especially in the black community with mothers and daughters, and why it's such a disconnect. I know it's not all the time, but it's a lot of women who cannot stand their mother at all. Dudes, usually when dudes be having their dad in their life, they like them. My pops is that nigga. That'll be for a different episode. I'm going to go ahead and close with this. Was Kirk Franklin correct in the words that he said? No. That is not okay to say to your son. Do we know what led him to speaking those words man to man? No. So I will not judge Kirk Franklin until I've learned that information. Because that is a 33-year-old man talking to his father who is also a grown man. Man to man will always be the most important thing. Family is about who treats you with unconditional love, not about who has the same blood in their body as you. My dad isn't my dad because we have the same blood, even though we do. My dad is my dad because he raised me even though he didn't have to. And when my mother passed and people were trying to take us from him, he vehemently denied. And did everything he could to raise us to the best of his abilities and succeeded. Both of his kids, then been to college, both of his kids, then graduated high school, both of his kids make real good money. Thank you, Pops. Always understand that it's who treats you with unconditional love, not the blood. Please give Kirk Franklin the benefit of the doubt, or at least figuring out what happened first. It's Younggodatm. I don't put no holes on the strip, use a smooth talker, swift hand to break down the bitch. It's the respect that I get. Energy, effort. It's the time that is spent. And my time is money. So they're going to reimburse every cent. If that don't make sense, subscribe to Pimp Talk the podcast. On all streaming sites, Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, Anchor, Breaker, wherever you want to stream Pimp Talk, we're there. And if you want to be a supporter, please, for $1.99, $4.99, or $12.99, support Pimp Talk the podcast to make sure that I can get me another phone so I can get y'all some better angles for Pimp Talk, maybe a new camera. You guys let me know. I love y'all.